you're going to have to keep track of these because I went back and listened to your picks last year. I did this yesterday. And I actually won 70% of our picks against each other. I listened to all of them.
He made it up. He's lying, guys. But first off, one, he's lying.
Why? So. You don't think I took about 2 hours looking for those and watching myself on my computer?
No, Dave could run. I cover politics a lot. My favorite thing about covering politicians is I will interview them. I kid you not, when I used to cover politics, is like they sit next to you and they'll just throw out a stat, and I'm like, how the hell do I have time to fact check this? They could have just made it up out of thin air. Like, oh, when I took office, we were losing 5,375,000 jobs a month, and now we've generated 100 billion jobs. I'm like, I can't even fact check it. I don't have it on me. That's what Dave just did, guys. Okay, so starting with the best bets of the season, I'm going to give you 5 bets that I tracked across different betting services that I think are great odds.
Okay. And if I agree, hey now. If I disagree,
that's crazy.
If I really disagree,
you suck, you jackass.
But I hate playing that one. But okay, go ahead.
All right, so let's start. Let's have a little fun. You want a big payout? You want to get really, really, really rich, Dave?
No.
Yes. All right, here's the thing.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's a Tennessee one, actually. And this is a shot in the dark, but you bet based on odds. You don't bet based on your likelihood of winning. That's solely on likelihood of winning. You can, on FanDuel right now, get a parlay of Tennessee winning the national championship and Nico Iamaleava winning the Heisman of 150-1. So you will get you would win $15,000 if you bet $100 on that.
Hey now, I wouldn't spend my money on it, but that seems like a good bet. I'm actually a little bit surprised it's not more like 250-1 on a parlay, but still 150 is pretty good. All right, what's next?
15,000. Yeah, I would take that. All right, so now these are the more realistic ones. That's just the fun one. So, and I'm not just saying this because it's my hometown. I've tracked them, and I'm looking at the group of 5 teams. Memphis to make the college football playoffs.
Can I stop you for half a second? Which has the better odds? Nico winning the Heisman or Tennessee winning the national championship? Since you looked them both up.
I actually think it's Nico winning the Heisman. Yeah, it's Nico winning the Heisman.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off. I figured as much. Go ahead.
Yeah. So next, Memphis is going to make the college football playoff, and that's plus 550 on FanDuel. There's one group of 5 team has to get in, and they're the best of the group of 5 teams. So at plus 550, I thought it would be like a plus 150 or them versus the field. So all the way down to plus 550, I think that's a good bet. Take that bet.
Okay, I'm going to have to take your word for it because I don't know my group 5. Hey now. So go with Caleb.
All right, now here's okay, that was on FanDuel. Now on Bet Online, the Big Ten, you can bet on them having over 3.5 playoff teams at plus 155. Guys, take this bet. The SEC and Big Ten will both have at minimum 4, and I think the SEC is going to have 5. But
hey now. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think they'll both have 4. I think the question is who gets the 5th, perhaps.
The SEC this year. In some years it'll be the Big Ten, but this year it'll be the SEC. I think the SEC is really, really good this year. As opposed to previous years, but they're actually better than they have been in years past. So, okay. The next one. Now, I think they have a 50-50 shot at doing what they're going to do, but they're giving 3.5-1 odds. If you have a 50-50 shot, but you're giving 3.5-1 odds, that's a heck of a bet, right, Dave? To take.
Sure.
Clemson is plus 350 to win the ACC right now.
Hey now. So you bet $100, you win $350 on Clemson winning the ACC?
Yes.
That is something I would really consider putting $100 down on, and I don't gamble. All right, what's next?
Yeah, they're my favorite to win the ACC. Now, here's the best bet in terms of odds and payout, and I love this bet. Guys, Dave sent me a Bet Online breakdown of coaches most likely to get fired and the odds on them about 3 days ago, and I thoroughly researched the list. And I was going to come in here and I was going to say bet Ryan Day plus 1,200 to get fired at Ohio State because you get odds. But there's a coach who has lower odds who, in my opinion, is more likely to get fired. And that would be Shane Beamer. who's at 16 to 1 odds.
Is there a way that we can, would it be possible to pull that list up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's pull that list up because this is interesting. Guess who has the greatest odds of getting fired? He is in the SEC, and you're not going to be surprised. Steve Spurrier, though, just recently said he's an incredible coach and everything's going to be fine.
What do you think Spurrier would? I mean, Spurrier's being way more diplomatic nowadays than he used to be.
I know. Well, he always supported the Gators, even when I don't think he ever said anything bad about any of their former coaches. But all right, I think he got mad at their fans because they weren't happy with the 10-win season. All right, so do we have the list?
Pull it up right. Give me 1 second. It's still giving me. Okay, here we go. Bet online coaches fired. Okay. Having a hard time. I you know what? I'm going to pull it up on what you sent me on the phone because I know it's there. But yeah,
the list is pretty interesting. While you're doing that, I'll remind you.
Here we go.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so Billy Napier, 4 to 1.
I mean, to me, he should be number one. I wouldn't want to bet on anybody to lose his job, but if I have to, I would.
Sam Pittman, 5 to 1.
Yeah, I hate that. I think he's probably losing his job too.
Mario Cristobal, 6 to 1.
I don't see that.
He should. He should have lost his job last year. I still think the team's going to quit on him because of that.
How much do they care?
Maybe that's a good question. Dave Aranda, 7 to 1 at Baylor. Went 3-9 last year. I think that's possible.
Fair.
Clark Lee, 8 to 1. Maybe.
Why?
I don't think Vanderbilt. I agree. Why? Kalani Sitake, 10 to 1. Justin Wilcox, 12 to 1. Pat Narduzzi, 12 to 1. No, I wouldn't bet on that. Ryan Day, 12 to 1. I think I'd bet Ryan Day.
If you're an Ohio State fan, does it scare you to death that Ryan Day is even on the list?
It wouldn't me. I mean,
but see, you know how you can get in a cocoon, and people have accused us of that. You can get in a cocoon covering one team. I bet there's a cocoon of people in Columbus that believe that Ohio State's going to win a national championship. I think Josh Pate picked them. But I just don't see it out of Ryan Day. Now, it's me from afar, and I know they can spend a lot of players and they get Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator, and that gets people excited. But if I had to bet on an even bet, I would say Ryan Day doesn't make it to 2026. So I may not be completely on board with him getting fired this year, but I think that by 2026 they'll have a new coach.
I totally agree. Those are the main ones I named. I think that, and I think if I'm with you, if I had to bet on it, Ryan Day isn't lasting beyond 2 years. I think people keep picking Ohio State. Look, I picked Ohio State last year. Full disclosure, I did. And I tracked it by NFL draft picks. And for Ryan Day to not win a national title, given his draft picks, that's a really big indictment of him, guys.
Agreed.